Hello and welcome to mixedmediaart.net. I'm Michelle Brown, Creative Director at mixedmediaart.net, which is an online community where we share techniques, reviews and inspiration for everything mixed media art. So today we're going to have a play with some gel prints, and I'm really looking forward to doing a bit of a simple technique. I think at the moment, anything too detailed just seems really overwhelming. So I think this is a great way of getting out some gel prints, some different scrapbooking papers or ephemera you may have, and turning them into stickers. So when you've got your mojo back or you're out on the road, you can dig them out and have a play with them. So today we're going to make some gel print stickers. So let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do today is take some of our gel prints and other printed papers and ephemera with some double-sided adhesive, so either the wide double-sided tape or the larger jack paper or double-sided paper, and then some circle punches or dies, and we're going to make some circles. So let's get started. Okay. So most of my gel prints I do on my 8 by 10 inch gel plate. So that, and in Australia we're using A4 paper, so that gives me a whole heap of pages just like this. So what I like to do first is to trim them down, because I'm going to be using my die cut, my cuddle bug, which is this size. So we want to make them small enough to fit through the press. And always when we start tidying up our gel prints, it helps us to see a little bit more of the detail. So I've got one here done in acrylic paints with an art foamy, the swirly art foamy, one of my favourites, some numbers. So let's get these out of the way and we'll get some cut up. So today I'm using my new, is that going to work? Creative Memories cutter. So we're going to simply have a look. So we're going to cut them into 4.5 inches strips. So just lining it up. And because this is 10 inches print, we know that we just cut a little bit of that off, and it starts to really help us see what we've got. So we're cutting it there, 4.5 inches, cutting it there, and then cutting it here. And we see we've still got a little bit of print there. So if we decided that there was something there that we really liked, then we could straighten that up as well. And that gives us 2 pieces. And these bits, everyone, we're going to throw them away. It's okay, we can do that. I've got so many bits and pieces because I always keep thinking I need to keep every tiny last little bit. And that is not the case. So let's do another couple so we'll have a nice swath to choose from. And I can find that this can be relaxing too. Sort of get some music on or a podcast. Now we can see here there's some few white bits, but again, it doesn't matter. This is just the first step. Bits throwing away. Okay, where are some of the other ones? This is a really cool one too with the ring fling. So again, because it's a bit ragged at the end, let's just neaten it up. And this has got a nice sharp blade in it. I find it's just so easy for cutting. There we go. And let's do a couple more. So we've also got some fantastic printed music. So what I'm going to do is cut that as well. So again, having a look at it, deciding what I might keep, if there's anything in particular. So like this has got a really cool heading that says chromatic scale. So I'll probably leave that separate. I can use that as some text. Again, cutting that into 4.5 inches. And then any printed papers you've got, I've also got a dictionary page, so that's going to be small enough to fit, so that will be okay. And I've also found, digging around in my ancient paper collection, is a gorgeous basic grey one. It's probably not available anymore, and that is not going to fit through my cuddle bud. So again, we'll just cut this down to 4.5 inches. And it doesn't matter that it's longer because it will still fit, although let's just cut that in half for ease of handling. Okay, so that will be enough to get us started. Okay, so now I've got this, and I've got my double-sided adhesive and my scissors. So what I'm going to do next is, now the great thing again about cutting it to 4.5 inches is that this is just on 4 inches or 100 millimeters. So we know we've got a little bit of leeway, but that's okay because if we cut with a bit of edge distance, that'll give us a better result as well. So back to our first one. This is the side that we want to keep up. So we want to turn it over. We don't want to put the double-sided adhesive on that side. That would be bad. And then line it up, again leaving a bit of a gap. Oops. Coming down, trimming it off. Again, it doesn't need to be too neat because this is just the back. And there we go. So there's one piece. Again, let's do the same with this one. So turning it over. And the other way, if you're a bit apprehensive about doing it all in one go, is just do 2 smaller stripes. So depending on the size that you're cutting out, it doesn't need to be fully covered. And depending on what you're thinking of using them for too. I quite often will just use these in art journaling or card making. So then you don't need quite as much sort of strong adhesive. If I was going to put it onto a canvas, then I'd use gel medium. And then if you don't have double-sided adhesive, you're also welcome just to do this and use a glue stick to use them as well. I just like this because it's really clean. Once you've got these stickers made, they're great for taking, like I said, if you're art journaling on the go. Remember the olden days where we used to go away on holidays? Or we could take our craft supplies with us, catching up with craft groups. And it's just really nice to have a collection of things to play with. I'm going to have to be a bit gentler with this. This is a bit thinner. There we go, and add a little bit there. Okay, oh, the music, of course. This is, being an older piece of paper, is nice and thick too. Oh, and it's got 2 sides, so we might, oh gosh, decisions. I think I want that side, so I'll put the tape onto this side. Okay, now that's enough to definitely get us started. So we've taken our gel prints, we've cut them into 4.5 inch strips, and again, that's just so that it fits through my cuddle bug. We've then popped the double-sided tape on it, so you can use that one, or you can use the flat sheets, or double-sided tape. You could just do a whole heap of rows if that's all you've got, or just leave it and then use your glue stick or gel medium to put it in. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to create some circles. Now, why circles? I just love circles. So I've got, lost them already. Okay, I've already opened the circle ones, and then I've also got some, some punches as well. So any punches you've got are great because you can turn all of your bits and pieces straight into stickers. So I'll do some big circles first. Always cut out your biggest pieces first, and then you can fit in the smaller circles around that. So let's hope we can get this. So my cuttle bug. So this is just one of the small little cuttle bugs, sort of portable. Open it up. Here we go. Okay, so I'll show you how I do it. There's absolutely no right or wrong. I think we've certainly learned over time when we see other people craft that we all do it different ways. So the way I do it is, this is the surface that I cut on. So we've got the block. So we just have to have the right thickness to help us adjust the pressure. We then put this down with the adhesive on the bottom. We then put a circle on top. Now, because I want to get as much use out of the paper as possible, what I've got is some painter's tape, some low-tack Scotch masking tape. And you can see here I've got a whole heap of little bits I've already torn off. And what that allows me to do is position it. Now, if you look carefully at the die, you can see that it's sitting in just that little bit. So we don't want to go over the edge. We just sit it there. And then if you want to cut with precision, that allows you to make sure the die stays there. And then if you're impatient, who would be an impatient crafter? Not us. We're patient mixed media artists, aren't we? So if you wanted to do a couple at a time, you could then do that. Again, you can also pop them on and then hope that they don't slide, but that always comes with varying amounts of success. And again, if we ended up with a partial circle, that's not the end of the world either. Okay, so we've got the bottom plate, the cutting plate, the paper with the adhesive on it, the circle dies that I've popped down with a little bit of masking tape, and I know that it's low tack, so it won't pull. I'll pull up my papers, pop the plate on top, pop it in, and again, this can just be really therapeutic. We don't do anything too technical. We're just doing that, and then for the exciting parts, we pull off the top, and then gently prise off the tape, and there we have a circle. How cool is that? And then we have another circle and another circle. Okay, so let's do some more circles. I did have it pointed out to me at one stage that I've had maybe too many circles and not enough straight lines when it came to stamps or art foamies. So if you don't like circles, I do apologise. I just find them really versatile. Okay, so again, this is a little bit longer. You can see it sticking out there, but it doesn't matter because it's the width that we're constrained with the Cuttlebug. So again, make a sandwich, pop it through. And these plates have had a fair bit of wear, so they don't tend to crack. If you do hear your plates crack, don't get too upset, and eventually they will crack through. There we go. How cool is that? A circle with some music on. And some other circles. Okay, and what else do we have? Oh, we had our dictionary page. So perhaps we don't need that size circle. Let's use a different size. So that one, and this one. So again, the benefits of the dies is that you can get some bigger circles as well, whereas the punches are great, but they're not quite up to the same size. And of course, you can always just do them by hand as well. You could cut out flowers, you could cut out arches to do a border. Okay. So there we go. Then we've got some dictionary pages, circles. I'll just quickly do some orange ones, and we've got a bit of a contrast. Oh, I didn't do that one. Okay, we've got that one as well. So, like you said, you can see that I'm nesting it, but I'm not throwing it away. So I'll show you in a minute what I will do with all those other bits and pieces. But like I said, once you start gel printing, at some point we do have to throw some bits and pieces away. Though I have been known to do journal layouts with the negative part of the circles as well. Oh, what a lovely morning to be making gel print circles. Again, you can see that I've done that a little bit close, but look, that's still fine. And even if it wasn't, we could then cut it and use it on the edge or for something else. Okay. So you can spend a little bit of time cutting your pages to size. We can then we can then get the adhesive on the back. We can then cut out the circles. Now, another way to get our circles, get that out of the way, is to use the circle punches. Now, if you have a range of punches and your hands are okay to do it, I find this a really simple way of doing it as well. So again, starting by our bigger circles, we can turn them over. That helps us see exactly where we are. Okay, these are great robust ones. So it goes right through the paper and the gel and the adhesive. Now she's got it stuck. There we go. Okay, and these are really nice strong punches. So we can then just check that we've got it out. There we go. Some circles. So we can do the same with the pieces that we've got left over. So we can use smaller circles. So here we've got a little bit of space. So we can go in with our smaller punch, again turning it upside down so we can see. Woohoo! And might be able to fit another one there. Excellent. Now, even though we didn't quite get the adhesive on the side, we can come back and put a little bit of glue or a little bit of extra tape on that. Now we've still got some space, so I'll get an even smaller punch. This is like, I don't know, what's that, a centimetre, quarter of an inch. And then punch some even smaller circles. Okay, hold on. There we go. Now, depending on your die, some of them get a bit upset if it gets a bit thick, but usually they're okay. And so you can see how you could then just keep going and going and going. Now, whether you've got hearts or flowers, letters, if you've got die letters as well, you can cut those out. So here's our beautiful music page, so we can certainly fit some small circles in here. And then if you consider where you're putting them when you punch them out too, like I said, this then becomes quite an interesting piece of artwork in itself. Cut some more out here and here. So you can see how no pressure to create at the moment. We're just making some stickers, saving them for a rainy day. Okay, we've got a few more here. I think I've got some other size circles. Not other shaped circles, because then they wouldn't be circles, they'd be something else. Nothing like a round circle is there. So again, this is the 40mm one. It was interesting when I got these two, so we have both of these in the mixedmediaart.net store, 48 and 40. I didn't think there'd be a lot of difference, but you can see. So that was the one I just did with 40. I'll do one with 48. Again, it's one of those things, isn't it? We sort of see the 8 and think, oh, that doesn't sound like much. But when you actually put them side by side, you can see they are quite a different size. So, and again, we can see here this had quite a bit of white in it, but I don't mind that because it gives us a bit of contrast. So there we go. I hope that's given you a few ideas of things to do with your gel prints. So remember, we took our large gel prints that are made on a 10-inch by 8-inch gel plate or our scrapbooking paper. We then cut them into strips that were 4.5 inches wide, just so it would fit through our Cuttlebug. So for no other reason than that. If you're just punching them, then you can just consider a shape that works for you. But again, I find this is good because then your punches can get in. If you wanted to just do just straight punches, you might want to do a smaller strip so that you would then just access it on one side or than the other. So cutting them to 4.5 inches and then using our circle dies. It's a really cool set of layered dies there, or circle punches, or whatever punches and dies you've got. So it immediately turns all of your dies, all of your punches into stickers. And so like I said, when we don't have a lot of mojo, it's a really good activity to come and just make some circles. Just don't get too upset about what we're going to do with them. Make some pretty circles. And then what we might do in the next session is talk about how we're using them. So we can see there, we can arrange them in all different ways. And then we can highlight them, we can stick them. Great for crafting on the go, and absolutely unique little patterns. So I hope you've enjoyed that session. Like I said, let's do some things that aren't too overwhelming or taxing for just now. Let's get out those gel prints. If you've bought a gel plate from us and haven't played with it yet, please get it out and have a play. And if you've got any questions, you know where to find me. Once you've got those gel prints, let's get them trimmed up. Let's get them turned into stickers, a little bit of adhesive, or if you don't have double-sided adhesive, again, we've got that in the mixedmediaart.net store, but if not, just cut them up into circles or whatever shapes you've got, and then just get out your glue stick, and then you can add them to whatever you're playing on, whether you're doing card making, whether you're doing art journaling, or anything in between, so they're all ready to go. So I think that was all. Were there any questions? So we've got DC Creates there. Excellent. Thanks, DC, for joining us today. We've had and Wendy pop by. Excellent. Thanks, Wendy. I'm not sure why our font's changed colour. Excellent. And Liz is telling us she's got to get out her gel plate. Definitely, Liz, get it out, have a bit of a play, set aside some time, no pressure, just see what you can do with what you've got. Excellent. Oh, and we've also got Lisa there this morning. Great to have you there. Okay, so any questions, pop them in the comments below. Come and check out our website, mixedmediaart.net, full of techniques, reviews, inspiration. The website's been running for 10 years and it's not just me. There's a whole heap of different tutorials there around gel printing, around bookmaking, around art journaling, around making canvases off the page, all sorts of things. Just an absolute plethora of information. And then you can pop over to our online store as well, and we can certainly help you out with all your crafting needs. So this is Michelle Brown signing off. I hope you have a fantastic day.